Ormagerd! Welcome to 5 Points of Articulation, where I review action figures and then articulate 5 points to help you decide if you want to add that figure to your collection. The 5 points I discuss are packaging, presentation, posability, playability, and price. I'm Jason, and if you enjoy my content, please like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube rigmarole. Today, we're taking a look at Aquaman's treacherous half-brother Orm, better known as Ocean Master. Starting off with the packaging, not only is it one of the DC Multiverse window boxes we know and love, but it also has a secret code. This gold label that's code for good luck finding it. DC Multiverse logo and Ocean Master down here. Name and logo on the side. As we can see, this is the new 52 version of Ocean Master. Perfectly designed to go with this DC Rebirth version of Aquaman. Legal down here. Barcode for those using apps like BrickSeek. And honestly, some really great artwork on the back. It's probably a discussion best left for a different part of the video, or possibly a different video altogether, but I'm kind of getting sick of this current model of gold label store exclusives being the only way of getting basic versions of characters I want. But again, that's probably a conversation for later in the video, though the gold label is technically part of the packaging, and for packaging, Ocean Master gets 1 whole point. Moving on to presentation, at the top of his helmet, Ocean Master stands at 7 1/4 inches. Right off the bat, we should probably address the elephant in the room, which is that this is mostly reuse of Aquaman. Side by side, you can definitely see the similarities, but there's actually not as much reuse as you think. From the top, and the head's obviously all new and perfect. I love the wings coming off of the side. His clenched teeth have been very well sculpted and painted. I love the glowing red eyes, and nice little shark fin up top. Moving on down, and you might be tempted to think this is Aquaman's torso with the cape glued on, but you would be wrong. Flipping the cape up, and we can see a hole where it plugs in, so there actually was a small amount of retooling done. That said, it does make me a little bit confused. Ocean Master should have black pectoral armor separate from the rest of his scaly torso. If they were going to go to the trouble of retooling it for this, why not just go the distance? Either way, it honestly doesn't bother me, and I think that aesthetically it looks really good. What looks slightly less good is the reuse of the gloves. Arthur looks fine, but the bunched up fabric around the cuff doesn't exactly work for an armored gauntlet. It's not a major problem or a deal breaker, but I can't help but wonder if they knew they were going to be doing Ocean Master when they made this. If they did, they'd be better off not having put the creases in at all. The diaper piece is a slightly retooled version of Aquaman's. Aw, they're holding hands. Their mom would be so happy. The sculpt of the belt is the exact same, but Orm has this extra armor on the sides. Otherwise, the legs and feet are the exact same, right down to the fins on the calves. The other major difference, of course, is his cape. Nice silver buttons up here, and flipping it around, it looks really good. The outside of the cape is a matte finish, and I do like how it folds over on itself. It's also fairly pliant. Inside, we can see more of that very regal purple. I can see how some collectors would be put off by the reuse, but it doesn't really bother me. After all, both characters are Atlantean royalty, so they should have similar aesthetic. He's not 100% accurate to the comics, but he's close enough for me. For presentation, I'm giving Ocean Master 1 whole point. Moving on to posability, and if you saw my video on Aquaman, you'd know that was one of the things I loved most about that figure. From the top, in Orm's head's on a dumbbell joint, he can look up this much, and down this much. Incredible amount of tilt, and all the way around. Moving on down, his shoulders reach just over 90 degrees, forward and back with a rotator cuff, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and McFarlane wrist balls at swivel and hinge. Shifting the torso, an Ocean Master has a diaphragm joint and a dumbbell waist. He can arch back this far, which will be great for some swimming poses, and he can hunch forward this far, which admittedly is a little bit better than usual. Of course, he can also tilt and twist. Below the big silver belt buckle, an Ocean Master has the typical McFarlane hips. They can kick forward this far and split this far. It's worth noting Aquaman had a perfect split, but Ocean Master is a little bit hindered by the thigh armor. He does get some great twist at the hip, double jointed knees, the fin gets a little bit in the way, toe articulation, and the new and improved McFarlane ankle balls that can swivel, hinge, and pivot. The Endless Winter Aquaman is one of the best articulated bucks McFarlane Toys has made for DC Multiverse. The only thing limiting this figure are the cape and thigh guards. For posability, I'm giving Ocean Master 1 whole point. Before we continue, if you like this video, do me a favor and give it a like. I put a lot of love into my videos, and your likes help more people to see them. Moving on to playability, an Ocean Master comes with a trading card and a figure stand. Pause here if you want to learn more about Aquaman's half-brother, Orm Marius. He also comes with this very impressive trident. Nice detail in the prongs. It does seem a bit sturdier. That said, time will tell. But playability is more than just accessories with a high probability of warping over time. It's also about how well your figure plays with others. For my entire Aquaman collection, and here we have the Superpowers version by Kenner. Here we have Total Justice, also by Kenner. Really hoping McFarlane does this version. DC Universe Classics by Mattel, which I honestly think still holds up pretty well. DC Essentials. Honestly, I'm surprised at how well these two scale. Get it? Scale, and here he is with Rebirth. That said, I know people love to swap Aquaman's head with Flash Gordon, so I finally caved in and decided to give it a try. So, initial thoughts. The head doesn't exactly click into place and does sit a bit high. Also, the skin tones don't match, but that might be just because I bought the wrong version of Flash Gordon. But there's definitely something there, and I gotta admit I do like it a lot better. Side by side, and it definitely feels a bit more like the new 52 version. For a movie version, here we have Jason Momoa, and then for a couple of Aquaman supporting characters, and here we have the DC Direct Brightest Day Aqualad, new version by McFarlane just announced at New York Comic Con, and here he is with the Little Mermaid, Mira. But without my voice, how will I? You'll have your looks, your pretty face, and don't underestimate the importance of body language. Ha! And for what I assume is Aquaman's only other villain, here we have Black Manta. I know he has other villains, I'm just making a joke. This one's from DC Essentials. That said, for some other major DC villains, and here we have Super Luthor by Mattel. I chose him for how well they look standing side by side. That said, here we have the good old-fashioned battlesuit Lex Luthor from DC Multiverse. Here we have Bizarro, General Zod, Gorilla Grodd, Reverse Flash, Black Adam, the DC Essentials Sinestro, and my own custom Kit Bash Joker. Joker, of course, brings us to Batman and other members of the Justice League. This one is a DC Rebirth version. Here we have the Three Jokers version, which clearly towers over him. New 52 Wonder Woman, Todd McFarlane designed Wonder Woman, DC Essentials and DC Multiverse versions of The Flash, DC Essentials and DC Multiverse versions of Green Lantern, Superman from Action Comics 1000, and Superman from Hush. For the King of Atlantis from the House of Ideas, and here we have Namor the Submariner. For a relative scale comparison, here's Ocean Master with Pizza Spidey and the Spectacular Spider-Man. And as always, here he is with Stealth Iron Man. Given how few Ocean Master figures there are, this is a given for any Aquaman collection. That said, if this one doesn't do it for you, there was a 7-inch Page Punchers version announced at Comic-Con. As for this figure, for playability, I'm giving Ocean Master 1 whole point. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. Ocean Master is a Target exclusive and retails for $19.99. Unlike other exclusives like Kyle Rayner or Deathstroke, this one was actually available for pre-order, but I was lucky enough to find this one on the shelf. Whether this figure sinks or swims for you will largely depend on how you feel about the reuse, but for me, I'm giving this Ocean Master 1 whole point for a grand total of 5 out of 5. For more Aquaman related videos, check out this one on the DC Rebirth version, or this throwback to Mira. It's actually one of my earliest videos. Are you picking up this Ocean Master, waiting for the Page Punchers, or planning on getting both? Sound off in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again real soon, but until then, play nice and have fun.